Sonia, why haven't I heard of this before? That's exactly what one coach I introduced this tool to said to me the other day. If you're a coach working with people on a one-to-one basis and also working in teams, and you want to help them find a clear path to their goals, even set better goals, achieve them with less stress and be engaged and happy in what they do, then Motivational Maps is the tool for you. Hi, my name is Sonia Gavira and I've been working as an executive and leadership coach for nearly 20 years now. And although I have a number of tools that I'm licensed to use, Motivational Maps has become the one that I recommend to all of my clients. I've even started using it as part of my intake session. In this first video, I want to show you what the maps are, where they come from, and what they measure. In the next one, I'll show you some of the ways you can use them to really enhance your coaching. And in the final video in this series, I'll show you how you can use the maps with teams and how you can become a licensed practitioner of motivational maps and start using the maps with your clients straight away. So, what are the maps? Where do they come from? And what do they measure? But not necessarily in that order. So, motivation is all about energy, at least in how we measure it with motivational maps. Motivation is the energy and drive that means that you get things done. It's about being in flow, or some people call it being in the zone. If you can imagine going away on holiday and you're going to fly to a destination and you get to the airport and you see this lovely shiny plane waiting for you on the runway. Then you get into the aeroplane and you look to your left, and in the cockpit is the pilot and the co-pilot, and all the lights are on, and you know that they're going to be able to take you, they have all the skills to take you to your maybe island paradise somewhere. You then go and find your seat, and you've got all of the safety cards and instructions in there. The air hostess and air stewards are there, and they're there to make sure that you are happy and have everything that you need for your journey. So you're all excited and ready to go, and then you hear an announcement, and the announcement says that unfortunately the truck with the fuel hasn't turned up yet, and therefore you can't take off. If you think of motivation as the fuel, without motivation you go nowhere. So this is why we need it. In a lot of the work that we do, particularly if you work in organisations, we do a lot of work on the direction, on the vision, on the goals even. So even if you're working one-to-one, you'll be doing work to identify, to help your client identify what they want, what the outcomes of the coaching are going to be, what are the goals that they want to reach. And then you might do work to look at what the gaps are, and what the gaps are in terms of skills. What do they not know? Whether it's technical, behavioural, whatever it might be, what are the skills that are missing in order to get them to that vision, to that goal? And if you work with teams in organisations, and you work with performance, and you work at the level of organisational goals, then you'll understand what I mean with this, and the amount of work that is put in terms of training. But the problem is that if we don't look at motivation, what is the energy, what is the fuel that is there to actually take you in that direction, not only might you not take off, but it might actually skew the direction as well. You may end up somewhere that you didn't really mean to. So In terms of where the maps come from, well, you can see here one man on the Dorset coast, and that man is James Sale. James Sale was in a previous life a teacher in a local school, and he then ran his own company doing training and consulting, and he really was curious about what was missing in terms of getting the performance that the people that he was working with, be it in the schools as either the pupils or the teachers that he was working with, or the clients that he worked with afterwards in his own consultancy. And that's when he started to get very curious about motivation, and motivation as this energy and fuel. He looked at a few models, amongst them Maslow's hierarchy of needs, Shine's career anchors, and the Enneagram. And these three models, which we go into a bit more detail on the course for licensed practitioners, are the basis of motivational maps. Now, I know that some of you might think that Maslow is outdated, but there are ways to look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and more on a flat level, rather than having to go up the different levels of the hierarchy, which will be really useful when looking at what motivates somebody. And this is when he came up with the motivational maps that he has organised in 3 clusters, so 9 motivators in 3 clusters. So the 3 clusters are relationship motivators, achievement motivators, and growth motivators. Now, on the course we go through this in a lot more detail, but to give you a brief overview of them, we have the relationship motivators. Now, these are people who are motivated by these things. So you have the defender who seeks security, predictability, and stability. You have the friend who is motivated by community, by belonging, by friendship, by relationships that are fulfilling. And you have people that are motivated by star, which means that they are motivated by getting recognition and respect and social esteem. And initially, people who are motivated by these motivators tend to be more resistant to change initially, and they are more focused on what has been. Then you have the achievement motivators, and the achievement motivators are the director who seeks more power, influence, control of people and resources. That's what motivates them. They're motivated by having that control. You have those that are motivated by builder, which means being motivated by material things. In our society, it tends to be money and above average living. And then those that are motivated by the expert, which means motivated by learning, by knowledge, by mastery, and not only accumulating that knowledge, but also sharing it. And here it's more about the here and now and getting things done. And then there are the growth motivators, and the growth motivators are creator, so people who are motivated by all things new, by coming up with new solutions to problems, expressing their creative potential, and having those opportunities. Those who are motivated by the spirit are motivated by freedom, and whatever that means for that individual, by independence, by being able to make their own decisions. And then there are those that are motivated by the searcher, and this means being motivated by the ability to make a difference, by having a purpose. And those that are more motivated by the growth motivators tend to be quicker to adapt to change. They may even instigate it, and are much more focused on vision and purpose. So these are the 9 motivators and the 3 clusters. And in the next video, we'll go into it in a little bit more detail, but not only do your clients get to see which ones of these motivators really drive them, but also how motivated they are at the moment. So there are 2 scores. One of them is here, which is the level of motivation. And a lot of the time when I'm talking to my clients, I give them the example of using a laptop. A laptop can be used in 2 ways. You can either have it plugged into the wall, or you can unplug it and it runs on battery. If you have somebody whose motivation level is 80 to 100, then I'd describe that as being plugged into the wall. So they are getting enough of their top 3 motivators, and we focus on the top 3 to start off with, because those tend to be the ones that are on our radar, that we're really more aware of. As you have clients who have a score that is less than 80 and going towards this level here, then I start to describe that as running on battery. So when they're in the boost zone, there may be 1 or 2 motivators that they need to look at to see how they can really get more of that motivation in what they are doing and how they are living now. And as they go down the scale, then there's more work that's needed. And in this area, there start to be some serious questions around what they are feeling, what is happening really, and what action do they need to take to really get themselves plugged in again. So we have an array of information. We have the motivators, we have the overall level of motivation, and then we look at the individual motivators and how much we have of that, or your client has of each one, how satisfied they are. So now you know that motivation is energy, the energy that you need in order to perform, and that there are 9 different motivators in the maps. Without motivation, your clients will struggle to perform, and with struggle comes stress and even in ill health. In the next video, I'm going to go into a little bit more detail on the maps and how you can use them. On the 15th of June at 7 o'clock in the evening UK time, I'll be holding a Q&A session on the maps and how to use them to really take your coaching to the next level. There's a link below this video where you can sign up for the call, and I will send you the details. Look out for video number 2, which will be out in the next couple of days, or better still, sign up below. So there's lots of links below this video, and be the first one to see the next video as soon as it comes out. You can also go and get more information at Discover Your Motivation today. Again, the link is below this video. So thanks for your time today, and see you in video number 2.